Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we are continuing to discuss my struggle with eating off-plan food and not having a plan and checking out of my carnivore um, commitment, which I had been on a 90-day challenge, and I made it to day 47. And on day 48, which was last Thursday, which was 6 days ago, I totally lost it. Actually, I think today's day 7. So I was feeling very overwhelmed and I was feeling very out of control over situations that were going on that I was trying to help fix with my friend who broke her arm. I was trying to get 4 different authorizations for her to see the primary doctor, to get referred to see the surgeon, to go see the surgeon, to get her on the OR schedule, and to get her over to the skilled nursing facility for rehab. I actually got all that done in one day, which was like impossible to happen, but it did. Everything aligned, and I was a very good advocate for her, and she didn't really appreciate me because she was in so much pain and so busy with, just surviving. And so I felt like unappreciated, and I felt like this impending doom, and I felt very fearful. And I had started drinking a little bit of caffeine, which I think instigated me to want sweets. I was eating too many OMADs. I was going like only one meal a day and 20-hour fasts, like pretty much every day, which was for 3 days in a row, which just wasn't eating enough food. My GLP-1, my tirzepatide, the Zepbound ran out because it wasn't being manufactured. So last Saturday, which was 4 days ago, I started using instead the semaglutide, the Wegovy, and it doesn't seem to be helping as much with me as far as controlling my appetite. So it was just kind of like this perfect storm of things that happened at one time. And I just checked out. I just completely decided that I was going to eat what I wanted when I wanted. And I've been doing that now for 6 days.
Okay, I think today's going to be a hard video for you, Cammy.
I know.
So I told one of my friends the other day, stop complaining. I'm tired of hearing it. I know where you're coming from. You don't have to tell me anymore. I'm done. I got a lot of stuff going on my plate, and conversations disappear. If you keep the conversation alive, you're going to keep it alive in your life. So if it's about a complaint, you only need to tell me once. I'll know when it goes away, right? You don't have to tell me you're upset because you don't have to tell me that you're overweight because I can see that you're overweight. When you're not overweight anymore, I'll see that you're not overweight anymore, right?
Yeah.
You tell me if you don't change your life circumstances, then your life circumstances are not going to change, and it's not likely that you're going to change your point of view or how you feel about it.
Right. Because if you changed your point of view or how you felt about it, then your life would change.
All right. So here's my thoughts on what you said. Did you look at the side effects of the Wegovy as far as causing depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts and overwhelm? So you're taking a drug and you actually changed a drug. So if I said I was really overwhelmed and I just started smoking pot, and then I told you I went on a binge, would you say, oh, do you think it was because you had to pack up for the toy show all by yourself? Oh, do you think it was because you had to drive a 20-foot truck? Do you think it was because you were up late? Do you think it was because you were away from your mom and you worried about her? Or do you think you might say, oh, maybe it's the pot that you started to take, right? Number one, you have a drug that affects metabolism. So don't be surprised that that's the number one cause of what's going on inside your body.
Well, in all fairness, I didn't switch over until Saturday and I started binging on Thursday.
All right, so I'm not saying it's necessarily the switchover. I'm saying it's the drug itself. Either drug.
I doubt if that's it, but you can say that.
Right. You seem to be claiming that what you eat is determined by how you feel. And if you don't feel a certain way, that is to say appreciated and acknowledged, then you don't have the strength to stick to your eating plan. That's what I heard. What I heard is a friend of yours was hurt, severely injured, went to the doctor, then asked you for some help. You agreed to help her, and you were able to get her seen by a doctor right away. Probably because of your knowledge of the medical community. Because most people would not think that you could get seen by a doctor and get a surgery that quickly. That sounds like one of the reasons for you to binge. And you didn't get what you thought you were going to get because you thought you were going to lose more than 2 pounds and you didn't. And I think you think that you deserved to lose more weight than you did because you were sticking to your plan.
Yeah, that word deserve is like money in my life, right? We know that
It
money
is.
comes in and plays all these,
Deserve comes in even more than money.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. And I think along with that, I think one of the reasons it might come in is so that I can sit in victim role. Like it was like, oh, I deserve this and I didn't get it. Therefore, I can be a victim.
So here's the thing. If this channel fell apart and we didn't do this channel anymore, and you came to my house to support me in July to help me with my July toy show, but then you got back, let's say I wasn't on the channel anymore, but you were still on the channel, and you got back on the channel and you said, oh, you know what? I had such an overwhelming time visiting Karen and really helping her out. I flew to Chicago. I helped her load her truck. I helped her organize things. I took the time out and I stayed at the show for 3 days. We were at the show and we did a great job. She sold a ton of toys and I really supported her. And, that allowed her to be able to leave her mom, and her mom is, doing better, but she still struggles. And then I got back home and then I decided to buy some Ben and Jerry's and binge and eat some donuts and some bagels and some Skittles and some candy. And if that's how the future unfolds, and you said it was because I didn't appreciate you, I would say stay the home. Don't come and support me. Because you're telling me I support you because I love you. What you're really saying is you're supporting me, but there are strings attached, and I'm not telling you what those strings are.
And it would really be saying, like, I support you as long as I know what's in it for me and I'm going to get out of it what I want. There are strings attached to it. It's not just like going to support you to just be a loving friend and support you. It would be what's in it for me. And if I don't get what's in it for me, if I don't get what I think I deserve to have what's in it for me and I don't get it, then I'm going to binge.
Yeah, so one of the inauthenticities is thinking that you are a generous spirit.
Mm-hmm. As long as I can get
That's
out of
not
it, what's in it.
generosity. That's not generosity. Generosity, in my definition, so let me say that this is my definition. Generosity is giving more than what our society would deem adequate or acceptable, right? You have a bartering system, and however that turns out, right? But it's overt. We talk about it. Cammy, I know that you're going to have an expense to fly out here. I will pay that expense. Now, I also know that you may have some pain and suffering coming here, but that is what I think that you are, as a friend, willing to accept because you're my friend, right? But the way it shows up with this surgery is it's like you're putting that all on her. And you even justify her. So there's something deep down, Cammy, that you're not acknowledging. You knew she was in pain, but you still wanted to be appreciated. Or is that just well, what's the level of appreciation? Does she need to say thank you? Because here's the thing. The binge, again, take the dog to a kennel and just say, Joan, I couldn't handle the dog. I put it in a kennel. Here's the bill, and I'm sorry it died. But your ego is so large that you can't do that. Because if that dog died, then it would be your fault, and you can't bear that burden. Because Joan would have been fine if the dog had stayed home and she had no surgery.
Right, right. Yeah, that was a big fear of mine is that, and the dog is a special needs dog. She's old and blind and with dementia. She wouldn't do well at a kennel. They wouldn't know what to do with her. I do care about the dog and I care about Joan. But I think one of the things that really happened that was hard for me was that it was unexpected what happened and not anticipated because Joan is generally very appreciative of everything that I do. She doesn't drive, so I take her to things, and I do it freely. I do that because I love her, and she's generally very appreciative. And she was just, out of sorts because she was in so much pain and preoccupied. But you're right, Karen. I mean, it's kind of like looking at like how generous and loving really am I? Because deep down inside, there's something I want. I need something. I need something in it for me. And like, yeah, I took care of people for a living, but I got paid good money. I got stuff out of that. I was able to send my kids through college. I don't have debt, except my mortgage. But yeah, and it goes way back. It goes way, way back. I know it's something that's really young for me, where it was like 7 kids. It's like, get what you can get. There's scraps that come along. What's in it for me?
Yeah, but let's just say you're never going to figure that out. And you're still going to have to live your life accordingly. So here's the thing. You started caffeine again. Okay, so we're at 13 minutes, 14 minutes. So let's wind this up in a way that we can transition to the next video. What do you think the next video should be about? What kind of conversation should that be?
Well, I think we've kind of laid the groundwork for what happened, right? And for how I did respond. And so I think the next video could be what would be some better ways to respond other than binging, and how do I lay the groundwork for that to happen in the future?
As if we haven't talked about that 100 times. So here's my question. Well, first of all, we didn't lay out the binge. So let's talk about the binge in the next video.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll have another video after that even.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. I can't wait.
The bitter truth. And by the way, don't think that, I
The
mean,
sweet truth. The sweet truth. It was very sweet.
when I beat you up like this, I learn things too, right? Because I learn more about you and what your responses are to things.
Well, and hopefully everybody else learned something too.
Yeah, I mean, we can only do this because I know you and you know me, and we know how to get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, everybody. See you soon.
See ya.